Well, welcome back to my Ford Transit Mk8 Campervan build, and this time I'm looking at putting the flooring down. So you see lots of different things on the vans, from wooden flooring, lino, laminate. I've gone for a vinyl. I've gone for Altro Walkway vinyl because it's a really hard wearing vinyl. The sort of thing you see used in hospitals. It's got a really sort of tough textured surface as well, so it's going to be non-slip. I did originally want to look into doing a wood floor or a wood panelled floor, but with the amount of time I spent outside and in and out of the van, and when the dog's in as well, that wooden floor is just going to get trashed by bits of grit and claws from the dog. So I feel this is going to be the best shot. I've gone for a dark colour. I've gone for the Nightfall colour, which is like a really dark blue with different shades of blue flecks in it, with the main reason of it sort of blends in with some of the other sort of themes of the van. So I'm really happy with the colour of this stuff. It's kind of a bit of a gamble looking at a colour swatches online, but if you really wanted, you could order like a colour book of all the different shades they make, but that was £16 and I couldn't be bothered. But I'm happy with what I picked. I didn't find this Altro Walkway stuff for myself. I saw it on Greg Virgo's YouTube channel, and he's used it in his van, and yeah, I can see why. It looks really good stuff. It's going to be great to finally get rid of this, the visuals of this flooring. So I am using, this is the old floor from the van because it was good quality plywood. It's about 18mm thick. Visually, yeah, it's a bit trashed from use, but structurally it's absolutely fine. This is going to go over the top of it. I might have to do a little bit of more prep work just to make sure all these areas are flat, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it out, cut this to size, and then not glue it down and walk over it barefoot and sort of see if I can feel any sort of areas underneath which need a bit of work and sort of fix those. So the roll I've gone for is 3.5 metres by 2 metres, so the floor space in the back is about 3.5 metres, but a bit shorter actually, so it's perfect length. I think it's about 1.75 m wide internally at the minute, so I'm going to have a little bit of excess to cut off the side. First feeling on having it out of the unrolled, really happy with the colour. And now it starts to rain and it gets wet. Woo, this is heavy. So cutting this in the van is going to be a real pain, so I think I'm going to bring it inside, measure up the width, cut it to width inside because that's going to be the most difficult cut to do in the van, and then bring it back out to the van and size it up properly. Well, since it's absolutely tipping it down outside now, I can't unroll the flooring to cut it. So I came in the house and I've measured up the only space I found, which was 3.5 metres by 2 metres, so I can have the Altro unrolled. Now is the bedroom, after I made some furniture rearrangements. Ice axes. More ice axes. So this is the backing for the material, and you can see it's nice and reinforced as well. Okay, well that was incredibly tightly wound. So next time I'm going to measure out what I need to cut off, and then I'm going to draw it on a line. But I'm going to draw it on the back, there's no point in drawing my cutting lines on the side, which I'm going to be working on. I only have to cut one side off because I can use the factory straight edge on the other. I've just discovered the floor's got sparkles. If I put it out of focus and the poker should look pretty good. So after some measuring in the van, the width this needs to be is 1.70 m. It's 2 meters. I'm probably going to cut it at 1.72 m just for like any deviation on the line when I'm cutting it, and then can trim it a lot easier when it's back in its place. Which means I need to take off 28 centimeters off the end. I need to figure out in my head which side I needed to cut off. So down the driver's side is the longest straight in the van, so I'm going to leave that as a factory edge. So this flipped over would be there, so I'm going to take 28 centimeters off here. So I'm going to measure that up and mark it out. Right, I'm going to get a straight edge to draw the actual line. What also works quite well in my favour is the backing lines on this for the material also act as a nice straight line. So I'm just going to use a stair to apply as a cutting mat underneath. And a brand new blade in the Stanley knife. Hopefully it shouldn't be too difficult. Really easy cutting through actually with a new blade on. Right, all being well, this should now separate. Gives me a nice chunk of excess as well. My plan with the excess I've got spare is to make some wheel arch covers in the same material and then seal them up together. So this isn't going to be a final fit, well, so this is just going to be me sizing it up and cutting it to shape. I'm not going to be gluing it down yet. Hard to cut this stuff neatly. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but I would say it's like 99% there. On that side I've got a few extra bits of trim, and to be honest what I'll probably do is I'll probably go around the entire edge with a bead of sealant, so any sort of wiggly lines in my cutting or where it doesn't quite meet the edge will just be filled in with sealant. The reason this one's going under this bit of battering is this is going to be part of my shower tray frame, so I want that to sit above. So, initial thought is quite happy. Not the easiest thing in the world to put down or cut. I still need to work on a few little areas to get some of the little ridges out. But overall, really happy with the progress. I've left the overhang, or little bits overhanging all the edges for now, and I'll probably at the very end of the fan build, I'll trim those to size and then put some sort of nose or cover on them. Just gotta see, with all the time going in and out doing stuff, I don't want to sort of ruin this. With the leftovers as well, I think I'm going to trim and make some appropriately sized and fitting wheel arch covers as well. Right, I think I will close the doors and let it dry out for a bit because it's still raining. Right, well it's probably about 2 weeks after the last segment of this video because I had a delayed ordering trimfix, which is the adhesive I'm going to use to spray the floor down. It got lost in the post by about 2 different companies trying to send it to me. So I know it's not the most recommended way of doing it. I know there's some proper stuff which Altro recommend to use, but this is going to work for my purposes as far as I'm aware. It's a high temperature spray adhesive, so I'm going to spray both sides, wait for them to dry and become sort of tacky, and then I'm going to marry them together. I think before that I need to give it a really good clean on top, and then underneath, because I've been working in the van for the last 2 weeks, there's little bits of wood and potentially metal underneath the Altro as well, so I'm going to bring it all up, do a final test fit, make sure I'm all happy and it's smooth and the floor's flat, and then I'm going to spray adhesive down. So I think it's some more hoovering. Just so you know, these socks and flip-flops are a tactical choice, so I can quickly take my shoes off when I come into the van for this process, so I don't bring any bits of stone or gravel into the vehicle after I've hoovered it. Yeah, so the only area I've actually felt any problems on it, you could see it, was this little lip here, so I'm going to get the sander out and just flatten that off. And take up all my old lines as well. Well, apparently not, it's really stuck down now. Alright, well we're not going to take the masking tape up. Side of this as well, just getting all of the any dirt or debris off. Next, we need to get it back in place perfectly. Just making some tiny final adjustments to get it to sit flat. Right, I'm happy with the fit, so next what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll up half of it, spray one side on the floor, glue that down, and then do the other side. I'm probably going to do that side first to make sure I've got a good solid anchor, because I know this is all in a line here. Right, let's figure out how this glue works. Me and spray glue sounds like a recipe for disaster, so I'm going to just cover up some areas I don't want to get covered in spray glue. Better idea, I'll just use one bit as a shield when I'm actually spraying. So it recommends doing one line horizontally and then one line vertically for the glue. So I think I'm going to roll this back, spray the underside of that first, then spray the floor, and then make my escape through the side door. With the door shut, it's windy, so I don't want to blow the glue everywhere. Right, so if we spray up to about here, it'll be a good shout. Well, there goes nothing. Now, let's put down the big box. Just to be extra sure I don't cover the good side of my flooring in spray glue. So that's not quite the end of the video. I wanted to also do some wheel arch covers as well. Just to match really. So let's get those done. I mean, this is completely unnecessary, but I had the leftovers and my water cupboard's going to be on here, so I quite like the idea of, once it's all sealed up, having a waterproof area so any leaks aren't going to drip down into the wood below or the subfloor. This little one, I think it's going to be back of a cupboard, you're never going to see it, so I haven't actually got that long enough, so I'm going to marry two bits together to finish it off. So I'm just going to finish off the process by using some Sikaflex EBT and just running a bead of sealant around all these edges around all the van, just to seal the floor up, so if any water does spill, it doesn't really go anywhere. Just to seal it up nicely. Oops. Do you see I'm washing up some water, some washing up liquid in. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, this, I just want a slight bit of sealing around the edge. We'll get some more foil tape and tape these areas, so I'm sort of sealing to the foil tape and the floor, not the wood. Now that the floor is down and glued, I can start on the rest of the jobs. So everything will be mounted, anything which is mounted to the floor will be screwed through the flooring into the 18mm ply below, which I'm not too worried about, and I'll have to be cutting a few holes here and there as well for sort of the grey water and the diesel heater to go in. That's the outro flooring done. Really happy with how it turns out. I know I've used black sealant and it looks quite, it's quite a imposing view, but all of these are going to be in the backs of the cupboards. You're never actually going to see this sealant. But I wanted to make sure I had a waterproof seal. A few other little places that still got to seal up. But that pretty much finishes it for this video. So once again, thank you very much for joining. Feel free to subscribe and I'll see you next time. Bye. I do have one slight regret when I didn't take up the masking tape, marking out these. In the right light, you can just about see where the masking tape is. I can't actually feel it, but you can just see it in the right light. That's a little bit annoying, but it's down now, it's stuck down. However, the cabinets are going to come out to here, the shower's going to come out to here, so you're not really ever going to see this area. Oh well.